You're watching HSN. I'm Tamara Hooks. I'm your host, and Mike Mizak for this hour is joining us for the last Coin Collector Show of 2017 until December 31st. He's got something great for you there. But these next coins that we're going to feature have been over 1,600 years in the making. Because you're looking here, and these are genuine coins from the time period of the Emperor Constantine. Now, we've got a lot to share with you. We've got a number of the Constantines in the line.
And this is actually Constantine. Yeah. He's known as, if you remember your high school history, Constantinople. He's the Constan in the Constantinople.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, he's the first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire. This is his coin, made for him in 300 AD.
Gosh.
So 1,710 years ago is when this coin was, in essence, in circulation. Now, here's the amazing part. First of all, that it's $99.95. That coin is original. That is 1,700 years old.
Wow.
It has not been reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form. You can see it has kind of a little crack there at the top a bit. These are hand-struck. In other words, they'd put a little blob of bronze there, they'd put a die on it, and then they'd get struck and make the coin. Yeah. And then you have the reverse of the coin, which isn't much, actually. It's just kind of kind of the seal of the House of Constantine right there is what that is. And this coin has been certified authentic. Now, it is absolutely crucial that you buy ancient coins that have been certified by one of the major certification companies. Okay. Either NGC, PCGS, or Annex. Do not buy them. There are far more fakes than there are real coins. Far more fakes than there are real coins. These have been researched. I mean, at NGC, they keep an entire staff of what they call, see where it says ancients down there? They have an ancients department. Okay, that all they do is this. The library that they go through to verify these coins, the library, these books are worth literally, some of them, thousands of dollars, because they were written by, you know, experts many, many, many years ago, been out of print for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They're highly sought after, so that they can guarantee that not only is this coin extra fine condition, but that it is authentic. Now, one of the things we were talking about just before you and I have sold this coin before, you, like most people, said, how do these coins even exist? And you say, how are they not lost? And the fact of the matter is they were lost, and now they're found. And that's how we get these. The Roman army, oftentimes before they went into battle, this is oftentimes the way we get these coins, they would bury the payroll. So that if they lost, which wasn't often, but if they did, they wouldn't get the money. And so it remains buried. They lose the battle, it remains buried, and some farmer digs it up, like in this batch right here, and all of a sudden, now it becomes available. So if you're looking for that perfect holiday present, how about the very first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire, Constantine? Okay, that you have right here, the House of Constantine, and this is the dad, if you will.
Right, that's right.
This is, like I said, the founder of Constantinople. For sure. Is what this was. And this coin is authentic and circulating from about 300 through 337, about a 30-year period that this coin was made and produced and sent out in a bronze, as you can see right here. Please keep in mind, and I know so many people have a hard time getting their head around this. This has not been reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form. This is a 100% original coin that is 1,700 years old. Wow. You can literally start your own museum for $99.95 with this particular coin.
Because it's not a replica of the original. It is.
You can go to museums and buy replicas and spend more money than this. Wow. That I can tell you. Because I've been to those museums and the gift shops are crazy. This is certified authentic from 1,700 years.
And very cute. And this is Constantine the First, Constantine the Great. Constantine had a lineage, and we've got their coins as well. And these are going quickly, fewer than 200 of these now.
I only have a couple hundred of these to go around. It was a huge hoard, and there's like 200 of them. Okay. So we've got this, and like I said, this is Constantine the Great, Constantinople. Now, he founded, of course, the House of Constantine. Okay. So that you see right there. So what I'm going to run through here very, very quickly, okay, as we go through this, so that